Hi, everybody. Welcome to our show today. She is surrounded by music and has sung all her life. Harmony filtered into Susie Ro's understanding very gracefully. And Susie has established herself as a renowned workshop leader, vocal coach, teacher, trainer, ceremonial musician, singer-songwriter, and the proud producer of her first professional solo album. Susie, I warmly welcome you to the Voice Rising Show today.
Thank you so much, Kara. It's a real honor to be here. Thank you.
So I want to start the conversation in a very relaxed and easy place before we dive into those bigger questions of meaning. What is one of your strongest childhood memories of music and voice?
What a great question. There's so many of them. There's just layers and layers. I think it's all infused in there. My whole childhood, I grew up in a Waldorf Steiner school education system, so singing every day, starting the day with a song, and singing. I think maybe singing around the Christmas tree, 4-part harmony, singing, holding hands around the dinner table, blessing the food with a song. I also have a really strong memory when I'm very young, curled up on a sheepskin in the middle of a circle of, I don't know if you know about Dances of Universal Peace, a beautiful kind of movement meditation in circle. Being very, very young and just having those dances around, because it often happens in the evening, so past my bedtime, and just sleeping during that harmony and that music as people dance.
Beautiful, beautiful. So Susie, we're all on the path and looking for things that make our soul sing, and you've literally found it. I mean, you are writing, you are singing, you're leading these wonderful community circles and singing with your tribe of wonderful souls that come, and some of them have sung for many, many years, and some of them are just getting started. When did you realize that you wanted to make music your path? Like, what was your turning point for you? Or was it just so natural that you just went for it?
I mean, it was naturally integrated. I sort of feel like I've been an apprentice of my father, late father, Nick Fraser. He passed away 6 years ago, but has left so many songs here that people sing all over the world. And so I was kind of singing alto parts to African freedom songs and different things, like as I was growing up. And I'm just trying to remember, I started writing on the guitar. I learned a couple of chords on the guitar when I was 13 and started immediately writing songs from there. But actually, I think the moment was when I was 17, my father got the flu and he was leading a choir at the time, a community choir, everyone invited, everyone can sing, everyone welcome. And instead of cancelling it, he said, Susie, would you take my choir group? I was in high school at the time, instead of just cancelling on people. And I was like, really? I can't do that. And then he's like, look, you know the songs, you can totally do it. And I went and I just kind of was thrown in the deep end. And I realized, oh my goodness, I must have absorbed so much of this through osmosis that I ended up being really good at it, that I just couldn't believe it. And I kind of, oh my goodness, maybe this is what I meant to be doing. And it just filled me with so much joy and just feeling all the voices coming together and being part of creating that felt really magical. So I feel like that's where it sort of started.
And you were 13. Well, you were 13 years old, holding the guitar and leading that circle.
I was 13 when I started writing the songs. I was 17 when I started leading, when that happened.
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, Susie, very few people have been able to define the word love or the feeling, and yet we're all seeking it. We're all yearning for it. And we feel it in our bones when it arrives, and yet it's just such a mysterious thing, this love vibe. It's very important for you to be a seeker. You've even written a beautiful song that I want to play for everybody today, The Seeker. Would you like to share why this quality is so important to your life and some words about the song that we're about to hear?
Yeah. So it's an interesting one, isn't it? The word seeker or seeking, because in a way, it was being a seeker has led me to a place to realize there's nothing to seek for, and actually everything I need is already inside. So it's a real sort of paradox within me that I see that as I've kind of gone really to the edges, my edges of for that transformation, my edges of being comfortable and not comfortable, and found myself growing and growing and growing at those edges, seeking and seeking and seeking, actually coming to the place more recently of seeing, actually there's nothing to seek for. I can completely relax into this present moment, and everything I ever needed is already here inside me and in this very moment as I breathe in and as I breathe out. So, it's a beautiful journey of seeking and then coming all the way back home to my own back garden. Yeah.
Beautiful. So let's listen to this song that you sent in. It's called Seeker, or is it called The Seeker? I think it's called Seeker.
Seekers, yeah.
Seekers. See, let's listen in to Susie Ro, and the song is called Seekers. Welcome back to Voice Rising. I'm your host, Kara Johnstad, and I am in studio with Susie Ro, who just wrote that beautiful song, Seekers. Susie, can we approach music and singing just like the seekers that are looking for truthful gems and the wild rivers, as I cross these rugged terrains called the heart. Is that something that instead of learning all these notes and chords, if we kind of slipped into that seeking mode, would that be easier for us?
I mean, my relationship with music feels somehow, with music and with singing, particularly with the voice, with this living instrument of the voice, it's like a spiritual journey in itself. And actually, although singing and music is 100% my profession and lots of strings to my bow, like leading teacher training for choir leaders and things like that, I actually never learned to read music or write music. So I'm never actually using notes and scores and things like that. I'm doing everything by ear and everything intuitively, although there's a deep understanding of harmony and relationships between notes. I really feel like that absolute tangible experience of music, that way that we can really dive in to immersing ourselves completely in singing, like especially when we're singing in the group together, the way that me, myself, my ego, my personality completely dissolves, and I just get swept up in this one voice. And as everybody's voices come together, we become this one voice. And for me, it's a very spiritual experience. And I've met thousands of people that have been transformed through the experience of singing and activating their voices on a personal level, but also in this collective singing together, singing in harmony format, which is very, very powerful and yet very simple. It doesn't have a sort of spiritual, it's for everybody, you know, that different community choirs and different singing in retirement homes or singing for all sorts of people. Actually, that spiritual experience is available for everybody and not just those, you know, wearing robes or seeking in a certain particular way. It's very universal and ancient.
I think you've said something so important, because I work with many people that feel a lot of shame that they haven't learned to read music. And I'm always sharing with them also, like, it's about listening and hearing and embodying. And, you know, there are many, many great artists that were not able to read notes, and they were great jazz musicians and great. There's even a rumor that Pavarotti didn't, I'm not sure if it's true, it's a rumor, but he wasn't reading the scores. He learned them, and he learned them through listening. What would you suggest, Susie, to someone who really feels that their throat is blocked and they feel stuck with their voice and shy? And what would be the first steps to welcome them into this collective sound, this oneness, when they might feel fragile and out of tune and all those good things, you know, that can come up? What would your suggestion be?
My heart just has such a huge welcome for those people. That welcome for every voice exactly as it is. Your voice is unique to you. There's never been a voice like yours. There never will be a voice like yours. It's an absolute miracle. Your whole body is a miracle living instrument, living and breathing, evolving, changing, opening. And the way that we can welcome our own voices, the way that we can deeply accept our voices exactly as they are, not trying to strive for them to be different, want them to be better, wish it sounded a different way, in that way sort of self-criticizing ourselves, just to really be with our voices and welcome and accept them exactly as they are. And then from that place, of course, being living, breathing, miracle instruments that they are, they will blossom petal by petal like a flower and open and change and evolve. And every day it's different, and every part of the cycle it's different. And to really welcome them exactly as they are, for me, is the starting point. So in a sense, I'm quite a unconventional singing teacher, because I come from a real place of relaxing and accepting right what is and loving that place, and then feeling how the voice responds to that, like a little child almost being encouraged to really open, to really step into a full and powerful place from there. And as a practice,
Yeah.
I would, for you, for each of you that are on your own right now, and we can't join big choirs. It's a different thing, though, to be welcomed into a big group of voices where we sort of dissolve into it and become this one voice. But for you on your own at home, each of you with your miracle, unique voices, my suggestion is to really step out of our own way in the sense of communing, having a conversation with our natural environment. So my practice is to step outside with my feet on the earth and allow my voice to be in conversation with the trees, with the clouds, singing the shape of the landscape, listening to the song of the birds and the leaves, and singing my gratitude for a new day. And in that way, it doesn't have to be a song. I'm not doing scales. I'm not learning this or learning that. In fact, the reason I didn't learn to read music was I got so frustrated with it because I was impatient just to be in music, to feel it, to hear it, to live it, that I just kind of was like, oh, can't be bothered with that. It's not really working for me. So I just stepped straight into the experience. And for me, that's where to start. So if you can be singing almost a prayer to the shape and the dance of the leaves and allow nature to come alive around you as you just let your voice do whatever it wants to do. It doesn't even need to be words. It can be sounds. It can be feelings that just flow through.
Yeah, you can start to imitate or play with the wind, I guess, with your voice too, or like children, they sing, cuckoo, they do the bird songs. Susie, we're going to take a very short break, and then we're going to be back with much more on
OMTimes Radio, IOM-FM.
OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organisation, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at omtimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Hi, this is David Strickle. I'm excited to share my brand new show, The Stream of David Live, right here on OMTimes Radio. Each week I'll have exciting guests and I'll channel the eternal wisdom of the stream, a group of non-physical entities whose teachings have transformed lives all over the world. So join us for an uplifting hour each Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's The Stream of David Live right here on OMTimes Radio.
With happy clients all over the world, Kara Johnstad knows that your voice is the missing link to more authenticity, abundance, creativity, and health. An internationally acclaimed voice expert, Kara's breakthrough methods have helped thousands of people successfully heal their voice wounds and extinguish the story of self-doubt and shyness forever. Join in group trainings, attend online sessions, schedule one-on-one time, and invite Kara to work with your organization and community. Get started today. Go to www.karajohnstad.com and receive a special guided meditation designed to fine-tune your inner voice and welcome you on the voice journey.
A social distancing tip.
Putting distance between yourself and others is critical to slowing the spread of coronavirus. So here are ways to stay in contact without the physical contact part. Call, send a text, set up a video conference, post on social media, dedicate a song on the radio. If you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Kara Johnstad. I am your host here at Voice Rising, and with me in studio today is Susie Ro. Susie Ro is a singer, a songwriter, a community leader for wonderful song circles, and much, much more. Susie, talk to us about the transformative power of truthful lyrics. You do write straight from the heart, so why is that so important to you?
That's a great question. I feel like the music itself is such a powerful vehicle, a powerful vessel. Sometimes I find myself just singing sounds and made up languages. And like I was saying just before the break, singing the shape of the landscape, singing so that the trees kind of sing back to me with their waving arms. And then from that deep place of being connected through the music, as a vessel, it's like, what do I want to be saying? If I'm going to use words with this music and with this healing power of the voice, this voice that I've been developing over the years, to really strip away and unlearn anything that's covering it up and just coming straight from the heart with the voice, what words could be with that, like could merge with that beautiful power of the music? And really it doesn't make sense to me somehow, or let's say it in another way, it makes so much sense to me that I would be singing from my heart to your heart something that really is true for me. So often my things come, whatever theme is happening in my life at the time, that's where my songs are coming from, really. So I might, usually a deep theme rather than something that's just like happening on a day-to-day basis. It's usually what I'm deeply learning. And for this year, a lot of the themes of my songs have been about not having to strive for anything, not having to, that there's nowhere to go and nothing to do and nothing to prove and no pushing, but just to really allow my heart to be in the truth of who I truly am. And that's been that's had quite a few special songs that come from that really relaxed place that allows the present moment to just be as it is, to realize all I need is here in this moment. I'm free.
Beautiful. Susie, you wrote a song called Creatures of the Deep. It sounds like we too are creatures of the deep. Would you like to share a few words about the song before we go and listen to it?
Yeah, so I wrote this song on a boat just off the shore of the island of Maui in Hawaii, and where I had just such a transformational, amazing time connecting with the nature there, especially with the ocean, just living by the ocean. And what happened on that boat was that we went to go and see the whales, and we didn't see whales the whole time, and we were just about to turn back, and I took out my medicine drum that I had made just before going to Hawaii, that I had made, it was called my whale full moon drum. I kind of ended up calling it, and I just started playing it, and I started singing. I just started singing whatever came, and this big mama whale with her little baby came and swam next to the boat, and everyone else jumped in and swam with them, and I was just singing there with them. And it was such a beautiful moment. And she actually, in the end, gave me my money back and said, thank you so much for calling the whales in for us all to have such a beautiful time. And then on the way back, because I brought the car as well, I wrote this song. So it's for, actually, this one has quite a strong theme. This is for all the creatures, especially the whales that are living in the ocean, and just the deep wisdom of those creatures, and just really the healing of the oceans, the cleaning up of the oceans, and all the creatures that live in there, real respect to them, and for all the waters, and also for the children. This song's also for the children.
Beautiful. Let's listen to Creatures of the Deep by Susie Ro.
Singing in the deep blue, swimming in your sound. creatures of the deep. Aye, aye, creatures of the deep. Aye, aye, creatures of the deep. Aye, aye, creatures of the deep. Aye, the water goes deep and the winds grow strong to carry this love, to guide us home. Oh, the waters go deep and the winds grow strong to carry this love, to guide us home. Oh, the waters go deep and the winds grow strong to carry this love, to guide us home. Oh, the waters go deep and the winds grow strong to carry this love. I'm going under to sing with the waves beneath the crashing waves.
Beautiful song by Susie Ro, who is with us here in studio. You're listening to Voice Rising, and that was a song that Susie did called Creatures of the Deep. And Susie, although we're walking with our feet on solid ground, our bodies are filled with this amazing oceanic fluid, and we are deep diving so often in our emotional realms. And so often, I'm not sure if it happens to you, but I'm sure it does, that when people are singing and there's so much beauty, or maybe there's even stories of sadness that come up, the tears just start flowing over the cheeks. It might even be laughter, and then you realize that we are connected to those whales and sea creatures and dolphins. And how is it for you? This happens a lot to me when I'm singing or coaching.
Tears, absolutely, just streaming with tears. People describe it as, it's not that I'm sad, it's not that I'm happy, I just feel it's open. They just feel open. There's that sense of, so often in the group, when the harmony just becomes so deep, and often I don't spend lots of time teaching, or I try and spend as minimal time teaching as I can in the group work. I just kind of get the bass part, the alto part, soprano and tenor parts all going. Often do quite simple kind of chant-like songs with very uplifting lyrics, and just try and get people singing for as long as possible. And often I get that song cooking for a really long time, and then the tears start flowing. And often there's not a dry eye in the room, but it's not sadness. It's kind of a breaking open and a feeling, all those things that can't be felt, and all the stress and the anxiety just sort of melts away. And then often I get people to come into the middle of the circle, to sit down, to listen, and then it ends up being a big cuddle puddle, which obviously we can't have at the moment. We're all missing. Cuddle puddle in the middle of the circle, and everyone's singing in part harmony around, and it's just like a little bubble of presence, of feeling what is here right now, and allowing things to move and bubble. And yeah, it can be very, very deep for people.
Yeah, it should actually. I think that, we have, I think this is a little bit the tricky part in the moment, because we know that singing boosts our immune system. We know that creating harmony together is so empowering, and it's very difficult for many people in this moment to realize that we need to social distance in a way. So it's wonderful that there are people still meeting online, and I think both of us are on the same train ride or on the same boat, to empower people still to dance in their homes, to sing, to keep that instrument in flow, and to realize how voice can shift harm to harmony, and so can singing together, right?
Yeah.
Susie, you've also written, share with me.
I was just going to say, I feel like it's an opportunity, or, we've had all of this time to, our whole lives to join and sing in harmony together, which is absolutely amazing. And just for now, it's like we're given this opportunity to really meet ourselves. So as we kind of come into our little pods, which who knows how long this will last, but just really making the most of this opportunity to connect with our own voices in that really special way that we can welcome ourselves in here. And just what you were saying about the tears, that actually sometimes when we,
So we're waiting for Susie to come back. So let's play her song. We're going to play Susie's song, Return to Love, as we get her back on the line. This is a global event. I'm in Berlin. Susie's in England, and our studio is on the East Coast. So as we get her back, we're going to check into the song Return to Love, and then I'm sure she'll be back with us very soon. Hi, I am Kara Johnstad, host for Voice Rising, and we are back with Susie Ro. You were just listening to her wonderful song, Return to Love, as Susie was able to return to us here. This is a live show, so we're so happy, Susie, that you managed to get across that ocean and get back to the studio.
Oh,
How are you doing? That was such an adventure.
I'm good. That was a little flustery moment. I'm now on the landline.
Ah, very good. So we were listening. I took our listening audience into this wonderful song, Return to Love. And when you write songs, are the hook lines more like affirmations? I think a lot of people are becoming familiar with chants and mantras, and it seems like what we repeat again and again and again that we can really embody and make real. Is this a method to your madness?
Yeah, exactly. And also that when someone says something, if I was to say return to love over and again to someone, it would have a different effect than to sing it in a way that it kind of goes in, it goes through, through the sinews and the cells and the metabolizing parts of the heart and just goes right in there to the core. And that's why I think music is so magical in that way, so the music can carry the lyrics in. So to sing something that can really soothe and to inspire the heart to remember itself, for people to remember themselves.
I love that line. The music can carry the lyrics in. It's very beautiful. Anyway, when you're speaking, and I'm sure you know this, but you're very poetic, and it's very nice to listen to a songwriter speak, because you speak literally in song and melody. What was was there a powerful moment for you where you really could experience that music was a healing force? Or have you found personal healing through music? Yeah.
The silence is speaking. Yeah, in ceremony, I would say, is that place where, in that sacred space, in that ceremonial setting, where I've come to heal, to let go, to transform, to sort of offer myself to the fire, to the earth. I can't imagine that kind of ritualistic, ceremonial setting without music, without that. It's almost like it's the music itself is the shaman somehow to guide us through the journey of whatever the ritual is. Also, like that song Return to Love, I wrote for my beloved father, Nick Prater, who I mentioned before, who passed away. I wrote that maybe 2 weeks before he died. I was next to him, on sort of next to his deathbed while I wrote that song, and that was a very, very strong experience for me. That then throughout that experience of sitting with his body for 4 days and 4 nights and the funeral and everything, there was just so much music, so much song, everyone singing together, because that's what he did for years and years. And actually, even in that ceremonial setting, that ritualistic setting, I couldn't imagine music not being part of that, because it's almost like we don't need words anymore. We don't need talking anymore. We just need to rest in the knowing that our hearts are held, and that we're all returning to love, actually. And we can just send off in a good way. But I would say that I received music in that healing way, in ceremony, in a very deep way, when I've been going through my own process that might have been very difficult, very baffling, or I felt lost in the dark in some way. And the music has been like the light to shine through to the other side.
Beautiful. Is there one thing that you would like our audience to remember about voice? If you could give us a little golden nugget from your journey working with the voice for so many years, living with not only your own voice, but with so many voices around you, what would that golden nugget be? And I'm sure you have many, so you can...
That you are a miracle, that you already are this instrument. Your body is perfectly made up of all of the muscles and spaces and resonating chambers and every single part of your body. I like to see it as a tree. I like to see the instrument of my voice as a tree with its roots and its trunk and its branches and its photosynthesizing leaves, all with its perfect role to play, and that you are already everything you need to be a voice. You already are an instrument of your voice, every single part of you, and that every single part of you can sing. And when you sing, you can allow your voice to sing out of the palms of your hands and through the soles of your feet, and you can use every single cell of your body to let music come through, and that when we can step out of our own way, we can allow the music to come through us, and that we're not in self-judgment and criticism and in that egoic state of consciousness which basically shuts us down, that we can realize actually it's joy and it's laughter and it's tears and it's grief, and it's the whole thing that can be transmuted through the voice, spinning sorrow into beauty, so that each of us already are that, and we don't need to try and become anything. It's just giving ourselves permission and welcoming our own selves to be the singers that we are.
Beautiful. Welcoming our own selves to be the singers that we are. Susie, what's your daily practice, or is that dependent on the weather? Do you have do you have some daily rituals that you do, or are you just really tuning in so much that they're changing all the time?
It really is changing a lot. I mean, I love my yoga practice in the morning, but I love to just really respond to what it is I feel like doing. Having said that, there's been that sense of discipline over the years to actually learn different practices. For example, sometimes I just sit and I wake up, I get out and I sit in my garden and I just give thanks. I just sing or speak my thanks for all the things in my life, and just starting the morning with gratitude. Or maybe I do an intense yoga practice, or maybe I just go straight down to the river and jump in. Or it just kind of depends on what flows. But music is often there.
You sound like you live in a very beautiful neck of the woods.
It is very, very nice, actually. I feel very lucky. England.
So you have a river close by.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have a river and a garden.
I do. I feel really, really lucky. And there's a river quite close by that I can walk down to. And this spring has been incredible. And I really think it's because there's no aeroplanes in the sky. It's just been blue skies. And anyone who's ever been to England, you've probably been under a grey sky. Because, I don't know, the weather sometimes is a bit heavy here. But we've just had 2 months of sunshine every day, and it's been such a blessing and a reminder of taking care of the earth and just allowing the earth to blossom while we kind of stop the activity a little bit.
Exactly. So people can reach you at susiero.com. Is that correct? So right. SUSIERO, susiero.com. You are not in the moment doing big group sing-ins, but you are planning to do that in the future. And is there anything else where people can, that maybe are not in your neighborhood, in the garden and close to the river, where they can come and work with you and be part of that magical field that you create?
Actually, I've just discovered Zoom, which is brilliant, and I closed my laptop for a month or something when lockdown started, because I just needed to recalibrate everything from all of the traveling and touring and workshops and people and events. And it's been so beautiful. I've done 2 Zoom events so far, and I've just scheduled in a whole lot more over the next 6 weeks. And there's a few coming up, and one of which is called The Living Instrument, the King and Queen of Your Voice, which is about the chest voice and the head voice, and what I've discovered to be the masculine and feminine elements of the voice, and really balancing and setting them on their rightful thrones in very different places in your voice, but really kind of marrying them. So it's an 1.5 hour Zoom workshop on that. And I have also closed groups, just 12 people, very small mentoring groups that will be going on for 4 weeks. So that will be needing to be booked in because that will get filled up quite quickly. But yeah, you can discover all sorts on there. The website's quite full and easy to navigate. So yeah, you're very, very welcome. I'd be touched if you come to check it out.
Beautiful. So I thank you so much for joining me here today at Voice Rising, for your time and for navigating all these crazy things called telephone lines.
Technical.
I wish you much love and goodness and everything that you're doing for our world, and I hope to have you back sometime soon.
Thank you so much, Kara, for having me. I'm really honored to be here. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.